Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Ich bin in Vancouver. Heute fängt die VRIC, die Vancouver Resource Investment Konferenz an. Und ich habe bei mir einen ersten Interviewpartner, David Wolfin. Er ist Avino, Gold and Silver. You Avino, Gold and Silver. Or silver and gold.
And gold.
Silver and gold.
More silver than
more
gold.
Silver than gold. Und ich spreche jetzt einmal mit ihm, was er meint. Sie sind Produzent, das ist ganz wichtig, weil ich glaube, in dem Zyklus haben die Produzenten wirklich, das sind die Produzenten, die als erstes einmal laufen werden. David, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
When I come over or I would say in this day, when you see the gold price and you see the silver price, you think here in Vancouver everybody has a party, the big push, everything is great. But then you look at to the market and look at the stocks, and then the only what you can do is crying. And this is very frustrating.
Yeah, I think for a lot of companies, for sure. But we've performed well, so I'm not crying.
No, but on the other hand, when you told some people 3-4 years ago the gold price is going up to 2,700.
Yeah.
Then still with the performance, we have performance stocks. Our biggest problem is that the two majors, the Barrick and the Newmont, are not really performing.
Exactly, and people look at that as a barometer.
But you have Kinross, you have your company, we have El Dorado Gold, we have Mexiko. They are doing well, but it's also that it's not coming down. It stays by these bigger companies. The two major companies are not deliver some results for different reasons. And to be honest, I'm not really optimistic about Barrick. Barrick with the disaster in Mali is really a big problem for us, for the whole industry, I think.
Geopolitical risk.
Yes. And for this politicians, cannot speak. For this risk, we get less reward, I must say.
Yeah. And you're talking about the market hasn't woken up yet. If you look at the Toronto Venture Exchange Index, it's at 600. If you look at its peak, I think it peaked at 3,000, and gold was lower.
Yeah.
Years ago, probably 10 years, 2011, I think it was. So why? I mean, there's so much regulation, there's so much geopolitical problems, and inflation, supply chain disruptions. There's all these unknowns. So it's difficult for generalists to come into our market just yet. I think it's coming.
Supply chain is a good thing. On next week, on Monday, President-elect Trump come to power, and I think we are really close, maybe to a super bull market in resource. Not only gold, silver for sure, but also especially for the other commodities. Then, when he really comes up with the tariffs, what the other companies are doing, like China or Russia, they will fight against this tariff with maybe export ban of some commodities. Yeah. So, and then maybe it's come into mind what this mean for the industry when you don't have a secure supply chain. So maybe then the people looking more on resource, and with them hopefully more money flows into a market. That is my hope. So I think with a little bit luck, and I'm not a fan of tariffs. In tariffs, everybody lose.
Yeah.
Maybe a resource market is the only benefit of this situation. But we talk a lot about the market, but now come to your company.
Okay.
You have really big news last week.
Yeah, on Wednesday we announced we finally got the permits for La Preciosa. So we acquired that from Coeur Mining back in 2022. And so it's taken a few years to get to where we are today, but we're thrilled. We're showing Mexico is open for business.
Yeah, that was also a big uncertainty. Mexico with the talks of open pit ban and so on and so on. So how really the situation looks like? It looks good.
We're underground miners. This is our second mine. We're going to bring online this year. people will see the benefits in our financial statements by the end of the year because we're only tunneling 350 meters from surface in one decline. So we'll be into ore in the second half of this year. So we're thrilled.
Mm-hmm. And you can process then the material in your own facility?
Yeah.
So you keep
so we're
the CapEx
at
low.
the Avino mine. We're processing currently Avino material from that property. But this is about 19 kilometers away, and it's paved roads, and we're just going to haul the material. So it's a very low environmental footprint, which is what the environmental department in Mexico was happy about. Mm-hmm. We're not disturbing the surface very much because there's farms around there.
Mm-hmm. So, but what this mean for the bottom line? For this year is a shift, I must say. But what this mean maybe next year?
Well, next year. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a lot of growth because the silver grade is 3 times what we're processing now. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited. Probably, I would say, well over 3 million ounces of silver equivalent. This year we did about 2.6 million. So it's significant growth for us, and it's not a lot of overhead. It's only $3 to $5 million to put in the decline. We're not building a mill. We already have it. And we have independent circuits in our mill, so we're able to keep the ore separate because Avino has copper in it. La Preciosa doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important to have these separate circles. Then you don't mix it, and then you know exactly what to get out. And you can. I think the material is always a little bit different, so you must modify a little bit here and a little bit there on the.
Right, we use different reagents, so we have the ability to keep it separate.
Okay. So what the other advantages in our last interview, I think is 2 years ago or maybe longer, I don't know, but what are the other developments? Yeah?
Well, I mean. In the news release we put out on Wednesday, we announced our cash position. And so it went from 7.8 million at the end of Q2 to 26 million in Q4.
Wow.
So 5 of that was from a financing we did, the ATM. The rest is free cash flow. Wow. So we're doing fantastic from the Avino mine, let alone La Preciosa with 3 times the grade. So it's going to be a really good end to this year, 2025, but 2026 should be a real breakout. And our price to net asset value is about 0.8, and in our peers it's over 1. So we're still considered undervalued because everybody's been waiting for La Preciosa. People were skeptical. If Coeur didn't do it, if Pan American Silver didn't do it, how's Avino going to do it? We did it. We got the permits.
Great. But what is the market cap at the moment? What do you have?
It's about 160 million US.
Okay.
Over 200 million Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting picked up in the indexes now. Mm-hmm. So that's really helping the liquidity. When we announced on Wednesday, I think we traded close to 4 million shares on New York.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the biggest issues what I see in the market is the liquidity, the low liquidity what we have. And this was also in one of the newsletters yesterday on the Metals Forum. That shows that the volume on the TSXV is since 22 is extremely low. You see no money flows into the market. It's only the money what already the investors are already there. They invest in the industry, sell some and buy some stocks, but you see no money flows in.
The TSXV is overregulated. I mean, it went so far into regulations. They need to deregulate and leave the police work to the Securities Commission. Because in the United States, the stock exchanges there are not based on one industry. It's a financial market, a means for exchange. So I think that's how we'll get more interest into the TSXV is, loosening some of the regulations.
And this may be a reason why on the CSE is I see much more listings and so on CSE.
It's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the cost are maybe lower.
Yeah. But we've graduated from there. We're on the big boards, TSX and NYSE American.
What is in general, my last question, what is in general your expectation about the silver price?
I think it'll catch up. I think consumption is strong, and there's a deficit, and I think it's going to grow. So I can't tell you when silver is going to take off. I mean, everyone knows when it does, it'll outperform gold, but it's been lagging.
Yeah, we are still not, we have not the all-time high in the silver price. The all-time high was at close to 50, 2011, so we are well
maybe people are just skeptical of the new gold price. Is it here to stay? I mean, a few more quarters of where we're at now could set the stage for a rally in silver.
That's possible, but when you look at only the chart, it looks like that's a very healthy uptrend.
Definitely.
The correction what we have since November is really not too big, so it looks extremely positive for me for a gold price. And interesting was also some graphs yesterday from the metals firm. They not really know who's willing buying beside the central banks. So it's not coming from the America, also not really from Europe. It must be more the Asian they are buying.
Definitely, I agree.
And they are not the easy seller, normally.
No. Hard asset.
Absolutely hard assets, and in inflation time, is hard assets not bad.
Yeah. So with Avino, we have a 5-year plan to increase our production. So currently we're doing around 2.5 million ounces of silver equivalent. We want to get between 8 and 10 million. Wow. So then we'll be an intermediate producer. And if you look at the intermediate producers, what they're valued at, I mean, Gatos just went for $1 billion. Silvercrest, Endeavor, they're all around $1 billion. And we're at 150 million US.
And you can do this without any increase of capital? You can do it out of the cash flow?
Hopefully. I mean, right now, we have enough cash for La Preciosa. The third asset we want to bring online in about 2.5 to 3 years is the oxide tailings project, and we talked about earlier about reprocessing old tailings. Yeah. So we did a pre-feasibility study. We got to do a final feasibility study, but we can reprocess the old tailings that were there from the 70s and 80s. We announced, I think it was close to 6 million tons proven and probable.
Wow.
Good grades, can be very profitable. And so, we're a small company, so our resources are what they are. So we're taking our time and doing one expansion at a time.
Absolutely. Then if you're going too fast, then maybe you run in troubles.
Yeah.
David, thank you for the update.
Thank you, Joe.
Ja, das war ein Update von Avino Silber und Gold. Jetzt bin ich richtig, weil sie mehr Silber haben als wie Gold. Marktkapitalisierung rund 200 Millionen. Sie haben 20 Millionen Cash. Das meiste ist aus dem Cashflow gekommen. Sie haben am Mittwoch die Permitting für ihr neues Projekt bekommen. Das ist nur 19 Kilometer entfernt von der aktuellen Mine. Das heißt, sie haben ganz wenig Kosten, nur 3 bis 5 Millionen, dass sie eigentlich diesen Decline machen, also diesen Tunnel runter zum Erz, und werden das dann im zweiten Halbjahr bei Ihnen in der Mühle aufarbeiten. Damit soll die Produktion von 2,5 Millionen Unzen auf 3 Millionen in diesem Jahr oder nächstes Jahr schon steigen. Wenn der Cashflow jetzt schon so stark ist, die neue Mine hat den 3-fachen Silberanteil drin, also 3-mal so hohen Silbergehalte. Da bleibt dann an der Bottomline relativ viel übrig. Was allerdings extrem spannend war, das hat er jetzt zum Schluss erzählt, sie haben einen 5-Jahresplan und sie wollen zwischen 8 bis 10 Millionen Unzen Produktion steigern, weil das sind dann Firmen, die ungefähr 1 Milliarde Marktkapitalisierung haben. Wie will er das machen? Einerseits natürlich mit den existierenden 2 Projekten, und sie haben ein drittes Projekt, und zwar ist das eine Tailingsaufbereitung. Das ist also ein Abraum, der früher verarbeitet worden ist, aus den 70er, 80er Jahren. Gute Gehalte, das haben sie damals nicht verarbeiten können, aber jetzt mit den jetzigen Methoden geht das sehr gut, und das wollen sie dann auch wieder in Produktion bringen. Ich meine, diese Tailingsaufarbeitung, da gibt es ganz große Firmen, die das auch machen im großen Stil, und ja, das ist eigentlich eine ganz spannende Entwicklung. Die Performance ist eine schlechte Firma, aber es hängt viel natürlich am Silberpreis. Wenn der weiter ausbrechen sollte, oder wenn er endlich einmal ausbrechen sollte, er ist ja nicht ausgebrochen, wir sind weit von unserem All-Time-High beim Silberpreis entfernt, während Gold quasi im November das letzte All-Time-High gemacht hat. Wir sind jetzt knapp wieder dran, dass er ein neues All-Time-High macht. Da ganz anders dabei ist. Das heißt, da könnte eine riesen Hebelwirkung raufkommen und dann wird es natürlich solche Firmen wie Avino richtig erst heben, wann der Silberpreis dementsprechend durch die Decke geht. So, das war ein Interview von der VREC 2025. Heute, glaube ich, ist der 19. Jänner 2025. So, tschüss und Baba. Pfiat euch. David, thank you.
Thank you.